Hello, and welcome to RED 4511, Linking Literacy and Assessment. My name is Brian Johnson, and I'll be your instructor for this course. For this first module, I just wanted to welcome you all and explain a few different ins and outs of the course before we get started right away. The first thing you're going to want to do is go into Blackboard and have a look around. Blackboard is new this semester. It looks a little different if you've taken a class online before, but just try to get to know it. A lot of the things are the same, but there are some differences that should make the course a lot more interactive and fun for everyone. So I'm pretty excited about this new Blackboard update. The next thing you're going to want to do is to take a look at the syllabus. There is a prerequisite for this course. It's CHD 2330. If you have not taken that course and somehow you got special permission to take this course without taking the prerequisite, that's fine, but you are going to have a little bit extra work. You're going to not know some things possibly that some of the other students who have taken that course already know. And so you need to know that it is your responsibility to fill in those gaps or ask the right questions to me so that I can fill in those gaps for you. So if you're reading along in the text or in the course content and you see something that doesn't make sense, a term that you don't understand, go ahead and look that up in your textbook or shoot me an email and ask me, and I'll be happy to respond and help you in any way. But know that there may be some things that are unknown to you because you chose not to take that prerequisite. So keep that in mind. The assignments in this course, there are a lot of them. It's actually a pretty assignment-heavy course. This is a higher level course than CHD 2330. So we're going to be asking a little more of you. You're going to be reading a little more, writing a little more, responding a little more. The assignments for this course may be multi-stepped. So when you read the description for the assignment, please make sure that you're doing everything that is required of you before you hit submit and turn that in. We may be asking for several different things, so be looking at that. Every one of the assignments does have a rubric associated with it though, so it's pretty easy to go in there and check out that rubric before you do the assignment, then do the assignment, then look at the rubric again after you finish the assignment and make sure you finished every little bit of it. There's really no sense in losing points over something silly and leaving something out, making a mistake. There's really no sense in losing points over that. So check out those rubrics because that's a tool for you to help you along with this course. Many of the assignments, the discussion boards and some of your written assignments require you to provide examples of your own personal or professional experiences to support your answers. And if you don't have personal or professional experiences to support your answers, that's fine. You can get some quotes from the textbook or from some of the links that I provide in the course, or maybe you find your own quotes to support your answers. But it's important that when you're putting information out there for the world to see, that you support your answers with actual facts that backs them up and makes them more valid. All of those different quotes would need to be cited in the APA format. So if you need to review that and take a look at the APA format and what that involves, then go ahead and do that as well. And use the APA format. Remember that to credit others with their work and don't accidentally take credit for somebody else's work by not citing the source. You have a student contract in Blackboard, so you need to go ahead and download that as well. Fill out the information there and turn that in this week so that I can see that. That gives me phone numbers for you and ways to reach you and best times of day, that kind of thing, so I can contact you if I need to. One of the main requirements for this course is that you're working on a portfolio. You actually will be selecting a student that needs help in reading. You'll assess them, and then from those assessments, you'll decide what type of instruction that child needs, and you will be working with that student throughout the course. So, even though the portfolio is due on the last day of class, you'll be working on it all along, and you really don't want to save that portfolio for the last couple of weeks of class. That would be pretty obvious to me anyway, but also it would be detrimental to you and your grades and to the child, actually. You'll be a really valuable asset to this child this semester by assessing them and teaching them what they need to know. So when you're choosing a student for the portfolio, there are a couple things to keep in mind. First of all, the student needs to be a student who's struggling with reading, who's not on grade level. This way you're actually helping them move up to grade level, and you'll have something to write about in all your papers, so that's going to help you as well. One other thing that would help you is to choose a student who is an English language learner. There are several assignments that can actually be combined in this class with another assignment if the student is an English language learner. So that will help you and reduce your course load considerably if you can find a student to work with that is an English language learner. If you can't find an English language learner, it is no big deal at all. You can either find an English language learner for just that one assignment and not have to tutor them for the rest and have a different child for the rest of it. Or I have made some videos with me working with an English language learner that you can watch and then do the assignment based on that video. Of course, it is more valuable to you to be the instructor and to do the actual assessments, but if you can't, that tool is available for you as well. The number one thing you need to look for in a student really is a student who's going to be there and be consistent and show up to tutoring and, isn't going to take several vacations during this time and or quit in the middle. Those types of things, if they do happen, we can make allowances for those, but it really actually makes a ton more work for you because then you have to go find another child and do these assignments again, and you really don't want to have to do that. There's enough to do in this course already that you don't need to make it harder on yourself. Okay, now we're going to talk a little bit about the textbooks that are required for this class. The first one is Understanding Reading Problems, Assessment and Instruction. It is, there are several authors, but we call it the Gillett text, and there is a lot of really great information in this book, and I think it's written in a way that will help those students who did not take the prerequisite. I think it's going to help them understand some of those terms that you may not already know. So when we have reading assignments, do make sure that you actually do them because they are valuable to you. The second book is the Developmental Literacy Inventory. The first text actually refers to this text quite a bit. The Developmental Literacy Inventory is actually a whole bunch of different assessments or tests that are informal that you give to children. And you need this text in order to do your whole tutoring experience. And you need to get it pretty much right away. It is available online, so if you don't already have it, you need to go ahead and get it immediately. You don't want to be late with some of these assignments because what happens is the next assignment is based on that first assignment. So if your first assignment is late, your second assignment's going to be late, your third assignment's going to be late. It's going to be really rough on you to catch up if you don't have these books. So go ahead and get on that right away. Another thing about the Developmental Literacy Inventory is that you don't actually write in this book at all because it includes the master copies of these tests that you'll be giving to students. So if you write in it, it actually ruins the test and you won't be able to use it again. So that would be a huge waste of a very expensive book. This is a great book that you can borrow from somebody else who already took this course or buy used because nobody has written in it, and it's for you to use again and again and again. And when I took a course similar to this in my college days, I was able to use this type of book again and again as a teacher in the classroom. So I think you'll find it valuable in the future as well. So keep that in mind with those books. With our course, most modules require that we have a discussion board talk. And your first intro discussion board is usually due on Wednesday by midnight. and then you have a follow-up. You need to respond to your classmates by Sunday at midnight, and usually we respond to each other at least 2 times, but it'll actually say in the wording of the assignment how many times to respond. There's a new feature of Blackboard with this new update with Blackboard, and it is that you actually have to put in your initial post before you can read anybody else's posts. So if you can't see anybody else's post, that's because you didn't put in your initial one in. So make sure to do that by Wednesday at midnight. In the calendar on Blackboard, I have put the due date as the Wednesday at midnight for discussion boards, but no, I could only put in one due date, so I put in Wednesday at midnight, but know that you actually have till Sunday at midnight to respond to your peers. So there are weekly discussion boards within each module, but there's also a couple of other discussion boards that I want to make a note of. First of all, there is the ongoing tutoring discussion board, and this is where you will post questions or information about the child you are tutoring, and you can offer help to other students who are tutoring their children as well. So if you're having problems, your student doesn't want to do the work, your student is frustrated, you maybe don't know how to teach a certain concept, you're looking for a creative way to help them understand vowels, go on there, ask that question, and your classmates will provide valuable responses, and I will as well. Or maybe you were doing some reading in the class and you thought, oh, I just read about this really great game to play for a beginning reader. I'm going to post that on the ongoing tutoring discussion board because I want to draw everybody's attention to that, and it's going to help them as well. Be sure to read the rubric that's required, that addresses all the requirements for this ongoing tutoring discussion, because it actually tells you how many times you need to ask a question and how many times you need to provide a response to somebody else. And this will be due at the very end of the course, but again, it's one of those things you need to be working on it all along. If all of your responses, I go on there and they're all in the last 10 days of the course, well, that's going to affect your grade, and obviously that's part of the rubric as well. So just be sure to be on there all along and helping each other out, and providing some really good information and questions in that forum. There's also another discussion forum called Questions for the Professor, and this is where you'll be asking general questions that might benefit everyone in the group. Maybe you don't understand a certain term, or maybe the assignment is difficult to understand, you want some clarification on a definition of a term. Anything like that, that would be a great place to post that question, especially if it's going to help everyone. We want to benefit everyone with those types of questions. If you don't want to ask in front of everyone, that's fine too. You can email me. I will usually respond in less than 24 hours. I also have office hours on Wednesdays from 8:30 to 9:30 at night, so you can call my home and ask me your questions then. I'm also available by Skype, but I would like you to make an appointment so I can set up the computer, have it ready, and have everything I need to be able to help you better. So you have several different ways that you can ask questions and get clarification and help on this course, and I really do hope that you'll use them all. I really do hope that I'll hear from you during my office hours at least once during the semester, or maybe you can make it a Skype appointment. We can have a face-to-face discussion, because I do think that putting a face to a name is really important to have some personalization in these online courses. Okay, one other thing that I'm doing that's a little bit new is that I'm going to be adding some questions at the end of videos, and these you'll respond to those in different ways depending on what the question is, and this is going to give you more points onto your lowest grade in the course. So today, your question, or your activity that you're going to be doing is I would like for you to go into Blackboard and fill out your profile and add a picture to the profile so that we'll see your picture every time you post in the discussion board. Well, there'll be your little picture there. And then the other thing you need to do is in your initial discussion that we talked this week, I'd like you to add a picture of yourself as well, hopefully different from the profile picture, maybe you with your children, something a little more casual so we can kind of get to know you in your introduction. So if you do those two things, both of them, I will add 1 point to your lowest grade. And of course, there are going to be lots of other opportunities for more points to add to that lowest grade. So really, at the end of this course, this can make a difference for you between an A and a B and a C, when all of these points actually add up. So keep that in mind, and I really hope that everybody does this. My reason for doing this is I'm trying to make the course as interactive as possible, so you know that I'm here for you, your classmates are here for you, we're going to go through this together, we're going to get it done, and it's going to be a lot of fun. So this week, in addition to those two pictures, you have an initial discussion where you introduce yourself, and your contract is also due, your student contract. So that just means that you've read the syllabus, you've signed the contract, and you've given me some information about how to contact you, and you've submitted that as well. So this is a lot of information for you this week, but I really look forward to working with you in this course. I think we're going to have a great time. If you have any questions, again, there are lots of ways to reach me. We've got email, Skype, my home phone number, office hours, and the ongoing tutoring discussion and the questions for the professor discussion forum. So please use one of those outlets if you ever need any clarification on anything. Thank you, and I look forward to a great semester.